All right, let's dive right in. We're going to explore something that might just flip your perspective on, well, everything. What if the most basic ideas you have about suffering, about happiness, even about who you are completely wrong?
No, really, just think about that for a second. Everything you believe about yourself, that you're this separate person, this individual making your way through the world, what if that's not the whole picture? What if it's just, chapter 1? That's the huge question at the heart of what we're digging into today. So here's the core idea that kind of changes, well, everything. The source we're looking at suggests that we're not a bunch of separate trees in a forest. No. Instead, imagine we are all just different branches, some big, some small, all growing from one single gigantic tree of life. We're all connected, right down to the root.
Okay, so let's start with this idea of one tree, many branches. I mean, what happens when you actually start to see the world this way? It totally reframes how you look at every single person you meet.
Think about it. That person you're competing with at work, that rival you're always trying to one-up, or even just someone you really can't stand, suddenly they're just another branch on your tree. You're connected. At a soul level, you come from the same place. It totally shifts your thinking away from competition and towards, well, a kind of cosmic family.
And this idea, it completely flips the script on a word like sin. It's not about breaking some rule handed down from on high. It's actually about self-harm on a huge scale. Harming another person, another branch, is literally like taking an axe to a different part of your own tree. In the end, the whole tree, and that includes you, is going to suffer. It becomes a deeply self-destructive act.
Okay, so if hurting others is really just hurting ourselves, why on earth do we do it? Well, this philosophy points to one root cause: attachment, that desperate, clinging need we have for things. And that brings us perfectly to our next idea: the weight of attachment.
I love this metaphor they use, the sinking ship. Picture this. Your life feels like it's going under, just weighed down by all the stress and worry. What's our first instinct? To grab for more, right? More praise, more stuff, more validation. But a smart sailor knows that's the absolute worst thing you can do. To save the ship, you've got to start throwing the heaviest things overboard. And what's that heavy cargo? It's our pride, our status, our desperate need to be perfect. Those are the anchors dragging you down.
So let me ask you this directly. What's the single heaviest piece of cargo you're carrying right now? That one attachment, that one expectation? What is it? Because honestly, just naming it, that's the first huge step to feeling lighter.
But, okay, what about the pain you can't just throw overboard? I'm talking about deep sorrow, the kind that comes from loss or a really devastating failure. Well, this next section, The Gifts of Sorrow, suggests that even those experiences, they have a hidden purpose.
So the idea here is that profound suffering gives us two incredible gifts. And here's the kicker. You can't get them any other way. The first one is humility, that deep, gut-level realization that you are just not in control of everything. And the second is kindness. Because once you've truly felt pain yourself, you can understand someone else's pain, not just with your head, but with your whole heart. And this next metaphor is just beautiful. Think about a brand new piece of polished silver. Sure, it's shiny, but it's kind of flat. It lacks character. But it's the oxidized silver, the stuff with all the dark, deep patterns, that has a real, unique beauty. This philosophy says suffering does that to our soul. It gives us this deep, beautiful luster that a perfectly polished, easy life just can't. All right, so we've kind of reframed how we see other people and even how we see our own pain. Now, let's get proactive. Let's talk about how the mind literally creates reality. This is all about shifting from just reacting to life to actually creating it. And listen, this isn't some new agey fluff. We're talking about an idea that's been around forever. From Socrates in ancient Greece all the way to William James, one of the fathers of modern psychology. The wisest minds have been saying this for centuries. A person becomes what they think. The thoughts you hold in your head day in and day out, those are the literal building blocks of you.
So here's the bottom line. Your mind is a garden. It's really that simple. You can't plant watermelon seeds and then get upset when you don't get morning glories, right? It's a basic law of nature. And your thoughts are the seeds, the ones you plant and water every single day, whether they're seeds of doubt, seeds of fear, or seeds of confidence and joy. That is what will eventually grow into the reality of your life.
And you know, one of the most powerful seeds we can possibly plant is the seed of giving love. Let's look at this contrast here. Most of us, if we're honest, operate in the taking love column. We feel like something's missing, and we're looking for someone else to fill that void for us. It creates a world of patients, all demanding to be healed. But what happens when you shift to giving love? You become the doctor. You become the source of healing and joy. And the amazing thing is, that's what fills you up with this incredible feeling of abundance.
So this leads to a totally different definition of true love, doesn't it? It's not some kind of transaction, it's not an attachment, it's just compassion. The simple, powerful act of giving just for the sake of giving. I mean, what if the reward isn't what you get back, but it's the genuine joy you feel just by seeing someone else happy?
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but I'm just not that kind of person. I'm the patient, not the doctor. Well, our final section, Your Unique Purpose, speaks directly to that feeling.
Okay, check out this analogy, a carpenter's toolbox. You've got a chisel, a plane, a saw. The chisel is made for fine, detailed work. The saw is for, cutting big pieces of wood. Now, how absurd would it be for the chisel to get all depressed because it can't saw through a 2x4? It's ridiculous. Each tool has its own irreplaceable mission. And this way of thinking says we're exactly the same.
So the point isn't to try and become a saw when you were born to be a chisel. The real goal is to fully, 100% accept the tool that you are, your body, your personality, all your strengths and weaknesses, and then spend your life exploring the absolute best way to be you.
And this all builds to what might be one of the most profound ideas in this entire philosophy. It's this: no matter how many times you feel like you've failed, no matter how many mistakes you've made, in the long view of your soul's journey, you have never once been defeated. Every single setback was just part of the training. So I want to leave you with this final, powerful question. Go ahead. Think about your biggest regret, your most painful failure. Got it? Okay. Now, what if that wasn't a failure at all? What if it was actually a perfectly designed lesson plan, created just for your soul's growth to make you stronger and wiser and kinder? If you really look at it that way, how does that completely change the story of your life?